Please help me welcome Stephanie Reese.
Hello. Come on in, everyone who's at the door. Oh my goodness. This is very, very surreal for me. I just can't even tell you. First of all, just to see my podcast projected, the podcast title projected up there is insane. My name is Stephanie Reese, and CitizenSister is my podcast. And as Katrina just told you, it is the first time I have ever had a live audience for a podcast episode. And why that is so super significant to me is because I'm actually a performer, and so it is kind of funny that I've never done this before. So bear with me as I find my footing with all of you listening in on what I have always said is a casual and fun conversation. Just a little background before I bring up our special guest. Is that I was a performer and still am a performer and an actress and a singer, and I used to travel all over the world singing and performing. And then I found out that I had a curiosity about people. And everywhere I went around the world, I would meet extraordinary people, other actors and producers and musicians, and then ordinary people as well who just, from different countries. And I would tell a lot of stories. And in my storytelling to my friends about all these people that I would meet, I realized during the pandemic that, wow, I could actually have these conversations with old friends and share them with people in the podcast way. So now I created CitizenSister, and I have conversations with people and the extraordinary things they've done in their lives, and how it's both their extraordinary and ordinary things that make us feel connected to them, and that shows us all that we are all citizens of the world. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you all to an incredible person. Come on in, people. Come on in. Have a listen. You are just in for such a treat. This is such an honor to be able to interview this extraordinary woman. Her name, ladies and gentlemen, is Beverly Desuasido. Beverly Desuasido is an executive producer. She's the winner of 3 Emmys for lifestyle segments and programming, and multiple nominations for spotlighting the social impact of Filipino in arts and culture around the world. Beverly has been responsible for over 100 series segments and TV commercials. Beverly's international work includes the award-winning feature Hote the Record and program Spice to Life, and Emmy nominations for both Osaka and Tokyo Yokocho. Beverly's episodes and segments exploring food, history, and local culture explore commonality, the practice that determines food, customs, who eats with whom at the table, and how. Instinctively and traditionally, the rules and rituals of sharing food, how they get made. I cannot wait to deep dive onto that. Having grown up in a large family, Beverly realized early in life that nothing is more fundamental to humans than the experience that food brings to the table, and that the essential human connections that are made when the table is expanded symbolically and actually. Beverly is a thought partner to the environmental organizations such as Pride for the Philippines, Pride, the number 4 PH, as well as a series focused on youth and literacy education and community. Before making television, Beverly managed DJ Q Bert, so cool, a turntablist who broke stereotypes in the music industry by elevating his art to inspire technology and design. Beverly holds a BS in Business Administration, Management and HR, and minor in International Business and Marketing. Ladies and gentlemen, the 3-time Emmy Award winner, Beverly Desuasido. Yay!
Thank you.
So happy you're here. I cannot even.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. It's such a treat because this is a live podcast. So meaning we're going to air, like when this goes to air on and it's released to the public, it's just exciting for my audience to be able to hear this live action going on right now. Oh my gosh, well, welcome.
Thank you so much for that nice introduction. It's an honor to be here. I love Pistahan. I'm a local girl. I was born in San Francisco, so this is really an honor for me.
Oh, yay. Well, that was like one of my first questions, like where are you actually from? So on the pod, we always start with, the very, very basics. Like we want to, of course, get to the Emmys because that's very exciting for many and it's so inspiring as well.
Thank you.
But I think, as I was saying about the pod itself and about CitizenSister, it's like we want to know about you and the roots and how this all came to be. So you're born and raised in San Francisco?
I was born in San Francisco, raised in South San Francisco. So I'm a peninsula girl and I've always just been here my entire life. And I love San Francisco.
And I saw that you come from a big family.
I do come from a big family. We have a Christmas reunion every year. There's over 100 of us. So now we've moved it to a hotel or a big restaurant because there's just so many of us to accommodate.
Do you actually know everyone's names? Like, are you?
I do know everybody's names, but sometimes, now in this day and age, I'm like, wait, who is that again? Or the babies.
Yeah.
Because there's a new generation coming. So.
Oh, yeah, totally. And how many siblings do you have?
I have 2 siblings, so I'm actually an identical twin sister. And then I have an older brother of 3 years. His name is Alvin.
So, I mean, it's in the realm of background and big family, I feel like, and I'm just assuming, so I want to ask you, but big families always feel like food-centric, like meal times.
Definitely.
And I was wondering, if did food come into, your focus later in life because that was the foundation of community or like, the happiest memories, or was it, what was that like growing up?
Food has always been a center in our family. My mom is an amazing chef. All my friends, they all want to come over and they want to eat my mom's food. My sister's an amazing chef, so they have that part covered. So I'm just more of the background and sous chef. I'll prepare stuff.
And the taster.
Yeah, I'm the taster. But I just feel so loved every time they make a home-cooked meal, and that's just the best feeling.
Yeah. I mean, and it's culture, too. It's being Filipino, I think, there's just something about being at the table. So, I mean, it was kind of a random question, but can you take us through, what would that be like at the Desuasido household? An average dinner time, weekday or weekend?
Average dinner time. What
happened? Like you'd all set the table. Would it be?
Yeah, we'd all set the table.
Kitchen?
Actually, each of us would probably try and bring a dish. So something that's one of our favorites. Or if someone's coming home, like my mom will make comfort foods like picadillo or bulalo. Just those types of comforting soups that just really soothe your soul. It really works.
Did you, what region of the Philippines were your parents from?
My mom's from Ilocos Norte, so I'm half Ilocano, and my dad's from Binyan, Laguna, so I'm half Tagalog also.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I couldn't tell the difference when we were growing up between Ilocano and Tagalog, so it's kind of a mesh of both, but I really understand Tagalog more than Ilocano.
But you can kind of speak both?
When manang. That means yes.
Okay. And then also, I mean, I know all the foods are regionally different. Like my mom's from Bicol, and the food in Bicol is really spicy, which I like. Are the foods in Ilocos really different than, where you...
Let's see. I would say, what's my favorite Ilocano dish? And I can't really pinpoint what my favorite dish from each region is, but my ultimate favorite soup is bulalo.
I love bulalo too.
Soup. Yeah.
I know it's actually interesting because we knew sinigang, which is the more famous Filipino soup, but it was actually like the oxtail soup in our family.
I love oxtail.
Yeah, and that was all. I was like, I didn't know about sinigang till much later, and I love sour things. So I'm like, why'd you hold out on us, Mom?
Yeah, no, siningang's good. Bangos belly sinigang, I love.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, and then being a twin, I mean, do you and your sister both share the same food tastes and?
Yeah, I would say we share the same food taste. She's more of a global explorer these days. So every time she explores and tries something new, she'll bring it back to the house and then she'll make it herself. So I'm lucky in that sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have great taste in food.
Do you have like that twin intuition?
Definitely have the twin intuition. I feel like she's like giving me good vibes right now.
Oh, that's so cute. And it's funny, I was going to talk about it later, but I'm just going to bring it up now because we're bringing up the sisters. Beverly and I discovered that she met my sister and was going to even do a show with my sister right before the pandemic.
Yes.
And what just tickled me to pieces backstage was I was like, I don't want to talk to you before. I want to save it all for the stage. But I was like, I couldn't help it because Melissa, my sister, is a musician and a singer and a composer, and she's the first ever female band member in the band Guns N' Roses. She plays keyboards and making us proud.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's so cool. But it was really cute because she, like, on her rider backstage is See's Candies and she loves candy.
Yeah.
And so the second you were like, I was going to do a food show, and then I was like, oh, that's interesting. But when Beverly was like, it was going to be all about chocolates, I'm like, oh, yeah, you totally know my sister. And also it's funny because she doesn't always remember people she met from the past. Now I know why she remembers you.
Yes, no, it's definitely trying to find people, their interests, what they love. And then I love chocolate, so it's something that I like pursuing.
Oh my God, it's so fun. We want to do a sisters show.
Yeah, we should definitely do a sister show.
Yeah, with the twins. And Melissa and I are not twins, but they actually, it's a really funny thing. I don't know if you remember, but she has like 3 little dots, and I have 2, and my older sister has 1, and it's in our birth order, which is really interesting.
That's amazing.
I know. When we weren't born with them, they appeared, which people are like, what? And some psychic lady told us that it was because we were fairies. And Melissa and I were like, yeah, that checks.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know.
For me, like the mole, that's how we told me and my sister apart. So I have a mole on my right side of my nose, and then she has a mole on the left.
No way.
Yeah, so that's so funny.
We need to do sister show.
We're connected by beauty marks.
That's right. Oh my gosh. So you growing up, and then food was a big center part of family, etc. When did that transition into like being the passion, like the center point? Because we said that you were a manager for DJ Q Bert, and then was food always there, and it just wasn't the avenue that you had taken yet?
My food journey, I think, began when I moved over to the Filipino channel, and they gave me the opportunity to make TV shows.
Yeah.
And so we were building Lifestyle Network. So Lifestyle Network was a sister station of the Filipino channel, and it focused on food, self, home, entertainment, and travel. And they're like, who wants to help? And I was like, I want to help. I want to make food shows and traveling. And so that's exactly what I did. And that's how I fell into, well, what do I love? And so I made a food show covering different chefs all over the U.S. They got to make us one of their favorite recipes. And then they also took us to 3 of their favorite local spots. Like, who doesn't want a recommended restaurant from a chef, a local chef?
Totally.
And so that's where I took the show. And, we put so much passion and love into it. And I think it just showed on screen, and we were able to get 5 Emmy nominations for that show.
I mean, guys, round of applause. That is huge.
Yeah, no, it was tough. And then we won our San Francisco show, and so after that kind of just showed like our caliber as far as what we can do as a production team in-house.
Yeah.
And so that's when they're like, okay, Beverly, what other shows do you want to do? And that's when, I met your sister, Melissa, because I had another show called 24 by 24.
Oh, yeah.
And we featured different empowering women and finding out what they did, how they got through their days, what their struggles were. And just learning different gems from everybody. So that show went global. So we were all the way in Australia, the UK, here in Los Angeles, Honolulu. And then I wanted to have Melissa, her sister, on the show as well.
That is so. I mean, how does one because I know for those of us who are not producers and it's not, a lot of people self-produce and create content now online, and there's a jump there from just being an influencer or being on on YouTube to you're an executive producer of an Emmy-nominated show. So I kind of feel like there's a middle journey there that I'm sure people are curious about. Like, because you said, they said who's interested and who can create it. Like, what's the first step in creation there?
I think really it's being able to, want to do the work yourself. So for me as an executive producer at the Filipino channel, I was the one doing the marketing. I was the one, coming up with the concepts and then just trying to build a team that was interested and passionate as well. And so it's also playing everybody's strengths. So, I'd get a strong writer, I'd get a strong director of photography, and then we would just kind of conjoin and make this super team.
When you create things like that, do they give you a budget to do it and then you're just kind of working within that? Or do you have to find...
Yes, you definitely have to propose things and see how much things are going to cost. And then you pitch it, and then they're saying, okay, Beverly, you can do it. And I'm like, yes, let's go. And
your parents must be so proud of you.
I hope they are. I'm sure they are.
I mean, actually, it was a curious question because I know, like, just from interviewing a lot of people with Asian parents, it's always like engineer, doctor, dentist, and all this stuff. But I feel like that's true for a lot of us. And then there was this fine line where, like, all of a sudden they were just like, oh yeah, you don't need to do that. You're doing good in this other. Did they ever push you in any direction that they wanted you?
As far as pushing me, I think they were very always supportive of my career, especially being at the Filipino channel, because they would also be watching that at home. So as for me, when I'd meet all the celebrities, I was pretty, cool about it. Like, they were humans to me, but, other people, they were like, starstruck all the time.
Yeah. Totally.
So, but I think they liked that I was over at the Filipino channel. Sure.
That's, I mean... they can watch it. Did you host some of the shows too? Were you
I didn't host, but I was there behind the scenes doing the interviews sometimes and then, getting the shots that we wanted.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you think of people, self-producing stuff on YouTube, etc.? I mean, do you think it's a good avenue for people to get started or?
Yes, I think right now there's such a big opportunity for students to go on YouTube or, people that are aspiring to just go on YouTube and do it themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know, for some reason, for me, I have a struggle doing it for myself, but for others, I can come up with a show and, get it done. But for some reason, that's the struggle for me, is doing it myself and hosting myself.
Yeah, and looking all.
Yeah, so that's my grow part for me.
Yeah, no, it's interesting you said that because I think it is. I think, even really young kids, they're just so used to, a phone is almost a mirror that, you're carrying around with you at all times. And it's just an odd thing that generation is used to. And for those of us who don't always want to look at ourselves, I perform on stage as my main thing, and so I'm not used to the constant reflection of me and going, I don't really like watching me. But yes, there's a whole generation of people who love that vibe. I also think it's cool though that you're doing it the way you're doing it because you're using a lot more people, giving a lot more opportunity, to people who need it, actually.
Yeah, I mean, definitely that was one of my goals, is really to shine light on Filipino culture, Filipino chefs, how they're doing it. The struggles that, the chefs went through that, their parents didn't want them to be a chef. They wanted them to, be a lawyer. Those typical struggles that people can relate to, and then yet they still pursue their dreams. Yeah. Those are the stories that I like sharing. Those are the stories that, uplift and inspire.
Yeah.
I want little gems to be learned from each show. If you can take something, then, I've done my job.
Oh, it's so good. I only saw the little snippet that you sent me of Chef Sheldon. For those of you who don't know, Chef Sheldon was on Top Chef. I was a huge fan. I actually went to his restaurant in Maui, and just me and my husband loved it. And then when he opened that, actually, it was kind of before this surgence of Filipino food being the spotlight right now. Right now, we have so much to be proud of with that. But he was kind of a front runner for making lesser known Filipino foods popular, and also just the way he served it. And I loved what I saw of that episode. Was so cool. He is the same. I met him at the restaurant. He's the same there as he was on Top Chef, very down to earth.
Yeah, Sheldon, no, he's amazing. My sister actually saw him on Top Chef, and she's like, hey, Beverly, there's this Filipino on Top Chef. You should trying to interview him. And it's as easy as, reaching out to him either through Facebook or Instagram. I can't remember which platform it was. But I was like, hey, I'd like to interview you and share your story.
Yeah.
And he was so welcoming. And he gave us that opportunity, even before we got the Emmys. He was just so willing to share his story. And it's, that type of feeling and that type of community that I love about being Filipino.
Yeah.
So, it's amazing.
And have you found more common threads? I mean, I know you don't focus only on Filipino chefs, right? So are you, or is
For
it?
Spice to Life, it was all Filipino chefs.
Oh, what? Okay,
Yeah.
but they're all over the world.
Yes, all over. Well, I was actually all over the U.S., so maybe I can expand it to all over the world.
You should, 'cause
Yeah.
they're everywhere.
Looking for a sponsor, any sponsors that want to travel and visit all the global chefs, we're ready.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to take Stephanie with me, too.
I would love to be there.
Let's go.
And Melissa.
And
your
Melissa.
sister. What's your sister's name?
Bernadette is
Bernadette.
my twin's
We
name.
will have-
Yeah,
oh my
Bernadette
God.
and Beverly.
That would be so
Yeah.
fun. I mean, it is a dream job. I don't care. Like, even if you're not into production and even food, I think it would be anybody's dream job to travel the world and just taste things and meet people. I mean, that just sounds like you're living like.
Oh,
this life.
I was definitely living a dream. I felt so blessed at that moment, and I was lucky enough to be present enough to know how lucky I was to be able to travel, bring my crew who were my friends with me, and then we just had a great time, and we, knocked it out of the ballpark.
Yeah. I mean, that's like. I think, there's a dream that you might have, but it's also, bringing others with you. And I don't know, that speaks to culture to me as well in some ways,
Definitely.
and food does bring people together at the end of the day.
Definitely.
Do you ever think that, because you were talking about in my introduction, I just want to quote the intro, that you explore food customs, like who eats with whom at the table and how, and instinctively and traditionally the rules and rituals of sharing food get made. I was curious if you discovered things about people, like could you read people by how they ordered and what they ordered in a way, or was there like a intuitive thing that came from observing that so much?
For me, in observing, it's just interesting to see what is the local ingredients and how they incorporated it into their cuisine, like how we have different versions of adobo, right? Because it's what is local to our area.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot about that, and just really knowing how to use ingredients and how to incorporate it into food, and just use what you have, right? And that's just really use what you got.
Which is actually very Filipino, because I know a lot of the Filipino Americans, when they first settled here, and the alasqueros and the fishermen and people that they didn't have a lot of money, and people would throw away chicken feet and scraps at shops, and they would always be able to make soup and do things with it, which are now the delicacies that we all love about Filipino
That's right,
food.
for sure.
It's the resilience of that. Speaking of resilience, that is one of the themes of Pistahan this year, Kapwa, which means unity. Am I correct in that? And the resilience and rising to the challenge. And I think that is so perfect for this episode that we're doing right now. When you're managing DJ Q Bert and in that part of the industry, was that just a whole separate lifetime from what you did, like just part of the journey that led you to?
It was definitely part of the journey, and it was funny because we had someone from the Filipino channel coming to DJ Q Bert wanting to make a show, because we had turntable TV at the time.
Yeah.
And it was distributed on VHS, and they wanted something, they wanted to bring in the next generation of Filipinos. And so they had a marketing position open, and I was like, I'm gonna, I'm not leaving you guys. I'm going to work here, and we're just expanding the network, right? Because, we're all on the same team. And that's what we did. We brought in Q Bert for, different features for Mix, which is our Asian American music channel.
Yeah.
We just,
I mean, were you into music before that?
Definitely into music. I was definitely into the entertainment industry, and how do I break into that? And I started in the music industry.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Are you guys still buddies? Like, do you ever?
Yeah. I just saw him maybe a couple of weeks ago. We had there was a hip hop event in San Francisco.
So cool.
And then, working there was amazing. I was able to go to Germany, Frankfurt, and travel with him all over Miami. So that really got my traveling bug started.
Yeah. Is he a foodie too?
He's vegetarian, so he's very particular about what he wants to eat. So I was very particular about making sure he was able to get food that he needed.
There's actually, in the Philippines, there's a surgence of vegetarian culture. I don't know if the last time you were there, but I was surprised that there's so many vegetarian, vegan, like restaurants now and people offering that. And I didn't feel like that was true when I first visited, but
nice.
It feels like there's a big health kick now. Over
No,
there
that's
too.
great. I mean, they have fresh vegetables. Why not showcase that?
Absolutely. Besides the Filipino food, what's another favorite food?
I love Japanese food, and I love Italian food. So I just traveled all over the Mediterranean. I love Mediterranean food, so that was nice to experience, like in their local cuisine. Everywhere I travel, I always want to try local cuisine.
Oh, me too. I also like to go into grocery stores locally and just walk.
That's my favorite thing to do. When I travel, I want to go to either the farmer's market or the grocery store just to see what is fresh there.
What's fresh and like what are their common things that they
Yes.
like to snack on and eat and stuff. I love doing that. I'm going to Austria next week, actually.
Oh, that should be exciting.
Yeah, I go every year in August, but I love the first thing I do. I mean, it's a grocery store I know well in that town, but first thing I do is I would just walk through the grocery aisle. I'm like, but I lived in Europe for a long time, so there's sort of a coming home for me in that. But there's something about that too when you travel and you have these little places that are your favorite.
Yes.
You know, your favorite little jaunts. What's your favorite here in San Francisco? Like
Your favorite
go to?
There's a little thing on here.
Oh, thank you.
I'm sorry, what was your question?
What's your favorite restaurant here in San Francisco? Or
Oh
must
gosh,
try?
my favorite restaurant here in San Francisco. That's going to be tough. Where are the chefs? What chefs are here? Let's see if I can name any of the chefs.
Yeah, right.
Gosh, what is my favorite? I'm going to say, well, my favorite Filipino restaurant is Taste Buds. That's in San Bruno. They also offer lechon. So I'm actually going to go there for dinner later. So that's why I want
Nice.
to taste
Lechon is roast pig
Yeah.
for those who
and
don't know on the
fun fact, my first job working here in the U.S. was at Goldilocks. So I
No
gotta shout out to
way.
Goldilocks. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
Yeah, that's where I learned how to count in Tagalog.
very cute. One of my not first Filipino gigs, but like, I guess in the circuit of, I sang at a seafood city once and I'm like, wow, this is interesting. I was like, you want me to open your seafood city with a song? But that's our culture.
Yes, yeah.
And a
that's
Max's
amazing.
fried chicken.
I love going through the aisles and seeing what fresh veggies they have. Every Asian restaurant, Filipino grocery store.
Oh, yeah. So fun. So fun. In the Philippines, do you have other up and coming restaurants that you're like, gosh, you guys have to go there to try this? Or
I wanted to try, and the name slips my head. I wanted to try a lot of restaurants there. Chef, I think it's Talde. I wanted to try one of his restaurants, but I haven't been back since maybe 18 years ago. So
oh, you haven't?
Yeah. So that's
oh my gosh, let's go together.
Yeah, we'll go together and try different restaurants.
Oh, yeah, I was there during the pandemic actually, and I was singing for a wedding, and but gosh, it's a long time, 18 years.
I'm ready to go back.
Oh, that's funny. So you're working for TFC here. I just got that. Okay, now I understand. I'm like, how did that happen?
Yes,
But I forgot
the
ABS
headquarters is now in Burlingame, I think, here.
Oh,
in
so they
California.
still have. Oh, that's so wonderful. I mean, that was a huge part of even coming to this festival. Incidentally, for those of you who don't know, ABS-CBN was the biggest Filipino channel in the world actually at the time, and they had their headquarters here. Just explaining for our listeners out there who are not here locally.
That's
right. So let's talk about winning Emmys, because I know a lot of people here are curious, and it's so inspiring for so many people. I mean, to see not just a woman, but a Filipino woman, executive producer. I think when we think of Emmys, we're like, oh, best actress and best actor, and we forget, like, you don't get those acting jobs, and there's not opportunities like that unless we have people like you creating those opportunities. So the moment you heard your name or you heard the show's name, what was that like?
It was a defining moment, really, in my career. And just to hear our names, it's like Bruno Mars was coming out with his song, I See My Name in Shiny Lights. And, you see your name in shiny lights. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, I did it. And, I wanted to make my parents proud. And, just getting the first one, then that just really hyped us up to get more. So the following year, instead of getting one, I got two. So,
oh my God.
It just makes you want to work harder and strive harder, and really just, it kind of confirmed that, I was doing something, noteworthy with the Academy. And so, it was very exciting.
And it just, it shows you that you're on the right path, or, that must have been.
Yeah, it's a little validating as well.
Did you feel like people treated you differently after that in the industry? Did it change or shift things?
It might have shifted things because sometimes in the Filipino culture there's that oh, she didn't deserve it, or those types of struggles. But I just use that to fuel myself and to prove everyone else wrong. And then the next year I win too. So it's okay, what are you guys going to say now? What are you guys going to say now?
Exactly. There's always somebody.
So, I think for anyone that has haters, you just use that as fuel for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I met your daughters backstage. It must be so inspiring for them to see their mom just like be that person. I mean, that is such, I'm sure it gives them lofty, like they're waving, they're so proud. And I mean, we're proud, and we're not even your daughters, so I can't imagine what that must mean to them.
No, it's really, for me, raising my daughters, I say it's the way of the woman, right? So when, we want to walk in confidently, I always try and teach them good foundations, so when they're on their own, then they can fly.
Totally. Similar to Melissa in this way, and I was thinking about this before this interview, was that when she was a composer, and she also writes for video games and films and produces, she's usually the only girl, and she's the only girl in Guns N' Roses. And I can imagine, as a woman, you're one, there's not a lot of women producers.
That is super true. Like, I was on a set of, I think I had a crew of 20, and out of that, there was only 3 females on set. Yeah, including myself.
No
so,
kidding.
it's definitely tough working in that type of environment sometimes.
Yeah.
But you really have to have tough skin and, just know your worth, really, and go in with your guts, I was telling them. I'm teaching them to go with their guts this year.
Did anyone train? Was that your mother? Was it her influence, or was there a mentor that?
Definitely my parents were my mentors for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, my mom has this stern grace about her. My dad is very jovial. He's community oriented. So I really picked that up from them.
I love that you just brought up community oriented, because I wanted to get to that. You've not only taken your accomplishments and gone and done other projects, but you've also used it as a platform to help other people and to create these programs that I mentioned earlier. How did that come to be, and was that? You said your dad is a community person.
Yes, he was definitely community oriented, and even for my career, I wanted to. I feel privileged to have this platform, being at one of the biggest, Filipino networks.
Yeah.
And having access to celebrities, to athletes, to chefs. And I really wanted to shine that light and show the next generation that this is who you can become. They look like you too.
Yes.
And, so that's kind of like my journey in life. And then even like, my second career, becoming an educator, I want to help, this is really helping kids right in front of you instead of, producing something and somebody clicks and watches it. I have like, the opportunity to help these children and, give them good foundations to be good humans.
Yes. I think that's a message to all of us. And because the theme for Pistahan is, Kapwa rising to the challenge, I really feel that. Like, when we have talents, and they don't have to be Emmy Award winning talents necessarily, but when you have something to offer to help the next people coming up, it's like that's rising to the challenge. That's like creating space. And I'll say, like, even this festival, I hadn't done this circuit, wasn't really my thing. I started in theater, and then I started to get to know my culture through all these Filipino functions across the U.S. that wanted me to sing. But it's things like this where you start to learn not only about culture, but that we had little 10-year-old kids singing on the stage yesterday who were amazing. And we forget that these stages, this is their story, you know? And so you're creating stories for people to say, oh my God, like, I remember when Beverly, she won 3 Emmys and she believed in me enough to like support me with these programs. Can you tell us about any of them? Like, what's the one that you feel most passionate about? You have Pride for PH.
Yes, I'm very, I'm very passionate about the environment. I want to leave with my children with, things to take care of the earth. And I just love, helping others.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the community is. With the Filipino community, we all just love helping each other. And, if you can share it, share your blessings for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Bayanihan, right? I have so many other things that I want to say. And I do know that I was told that we wanted to allow the audience also to participate. And I get like...
Shout out to the audience.
Yay, we have an audience. It's so cool. And do you know, right after this, and I love that I get to say this for those listening in the in the pod air, that right after this is a balut eating contest. No joke. So that's very exciting. And I know that we're going to get the balut eating contest people.
I will join that.
I know. I'm definitely going to watch that too. We watched the ice cream eating contest yesterday, and I was like, the lactose intolerance me was like reacting just from the visual. I was like, oh my God. And there was another one today, wasn't there? And also, I just want to shout out, I have 3 Bainbridge Islanders. I live on Bainbridge Island now, which is a 35-minute boat ride outside of Seattle. Wow. Yeah, it's so cool. And 3 people here, Avery, Amy, and Gordon, are all here. And my friend Misty also came. They all came to support the festival and to participate. And we have a festival on the island too, our Asian Arts and Heritage Festival. We're only in our 2nd year, but I just wanted to shout out.
Yeah, congrats. That's not an easy feat. So kudos to you, because you can see how big this one is, and then to have yours.
It was
good job.
Thank you. I'll take it because it was really hard. But I did it. Al helped me. He rolled out all the information, and that was the whole thing. Like rising to the challenge, bayanihan, everyone helping the other, and we hear it in our culture a lot. You spoke a little bit about it, and I hate saying this, but it's like sometimes within our culture, it's like people don't always want you to rise up, and maybe that's not just our culture, but we talk about it culturally.
Yeah, my mom says life is not a bed of roses, so you just have to prepare yourself for that, and then really just rise above it for sure.
Yeah, rise above it and help others, like what you did, like what Al does, and what I think that was one thing our culture taught me after being on bigger stages was like, oh, there's all these charitable organizations, especially coming out of the Philippines. And it took me going there to understand that when you can't rely on government, it takes citizens like us to create programs and 501c3s to support what the government just won't do. And I was like, oh my God, we really make a difference. And it really does make a difference. So, and I can't wait to show you more of that because it's been 18 years since you've been there. Wow. So I can't wait. That'll be really, really exciting. So before we get to audience questions, there are questions that I ask in every episode to my guests. But before I do, is there anything else that you want to just say about your passion and about your future and what you're doing?
I mean, for me, I think it's, everyone share your blessings. If you feel blessed, you want to share that, and then I think it just comes back tenfold.
I believe that too. That is a beautiful statement. So as I was saying to our lovely audience here, I have questions that I ask in every episode. And then the new thing that I've been doing is adding a couple of questions specific to the guest. And it's a rapid fire. So
okay.
You don't have to
I'm nervous.
Think really, really hard or anything. And they're pretty easy. Some of it we covered a little bit. But so favorite place to live in the world?
Favorite place to live in the world is, of course, San Francisco.
Hey!
Round of applause, San Francisco. It has to be San Francisco. I feel really blessed, though, to be here.
Yeah, oh, it's such a cool city. And favorite food?
My favorite food is going to be bulalo, beef soup.
Nice.
And there's could be oxtail in it, too.
Do you cook?
I don't. I mean, I do, but I leave that to my mom and my sister.
Oh, that's nice. We need people who like to taste. Otherwise, I like to cook. I'm not the best at it, but I like to do it. But we always need the tasters. Okay. So what is an ordinary thing that you find extraordinary?
An ordinary thing I find extraordinary is I'm going to say my sarong because it's my favorite travel accessory. So I can turn it into a blanket. I can turn it into a scarf. I can turn it into a hoodie, a dress.
A pillow.
So, yeah, that's my go-to extraordinary.
Oh,
simple.
I love that. I do love a sarong. I'm wearing one right now for those who can't see me. Okay, and let's see. Oh, yes. So these are questions just for you. What is the first word that comes to your mind when I say the word legacy?
Children.
Oh, that's beautiful. And then what is a message that you have for people when you hear the rise to the challenge in Kapwa? What is a message that you have for that?
A message that I live by is it doesn't hurt to ask and it's okay to say no.
Oh, I love that. Gosh, I could take that.
I'm trying to learn with my boundaries because I like to people pleasing, but I also need to set boundaries.
Me too. It's very hard. I mean, you think that you graduate out of that. I don't think you do unless you make a choice.
Well, as a producer, you want to make sure the whole set and everyone is kosher, and that kind of means that whatever my needs are came second. So now it's more putting myself first.
Did you feel like you had to be super tough as a woman in that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely strong, mentally, physically. Yes, yeah.
That is so cool. So I know how one of these questions is something that I know a lot of people say, what's the one message you'd have for your younger self? But I want to switch that question a little bit and say, if you could tell the younger Beverly, what's one thing that you would tell her that she could look forward to the most in her future?
Oh, gosh. I would tell her to study hard. Gosh, I sound like my parents, but really studying hard and getting that education and community, being with community, I think really molds you. Good community. Like, I want them to pick good friends.
Of the things, though, like if you were future telling to her, like if you went to her and you were like, I just want you to know this is going to happen, that would make 8-year-old Beverly excited.
I would tell her that she's going to meet a great group of friends and travel the world. That's what I would tell her.
That's so beautiful. And my last question that I ask everyone in every episode, and my favorite one, is what do you think makes somebody a citizen of the world?
I think what makes a citizen of the world is finding a sense of community and helping.
That's so beautiful.
Giving back, really.
Yeah, giving back for sure. Is your community here in San Francisco, is it industry-based? Is it kids you grew up with?
It's Filipino-based, it's industry-based, it's musically-based. I think that's, whatever your passion is, it's kind of like that's where you get your sense of community.
That's so great. I have one last question just for myself before we let the audience ask some questions. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, San Francisco, one restaurant for each. Asking for friends.
Oh, okay.
We're foodies here, so we want to know.
So funny. Breakfast, I would go to My Cafe. That's in San Francisco.
What should we order?
It's like a brunch place. Their potatoes they're the best, crunchiest potatoes I've ever had.
Okay.
For lunch, I would go to the Ferry Building just because it's nice to walk around there. And then I would have the clam chowder at Hog Oyster. And then dinner, I would go to, where would I go for dinner? I would go to a steakhouse, maybe.
Which one?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know which steakhouse I would go to. Let me think. Liho Yacht Club. I would go there.
Liho Yacht
for dinner. Yeah.
Yum. And
Yeah, and that's Hawaiian cuisine.
Ooh, and what would you order there?
I would order, they have this like turmeric chicken wing that I like.
Oh, that sounds
And then they have
delicious.
these like special like cocktails as well.
And for Melissa, one last question. What's your favorite See's candy?
My favorite See's candy would be Divinity.
Oh, I love Divinity. That's
Or the Irish potato chocolates they have seasonally. That's my ultimate favorite.
Those are deep cuts. You really are a fan. Those are like some serious deep
We're going to do a
cuts.
chocolate show, so anyone that wants to come with us around the world to taste chocolate,
Oh my God, amen.
yeah,
That
hit
is-
Melissa up and then we'll do it.
It's so true. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have an opportunity now to ask, either of us questions, but really, a 3-time Emmy Award winning executive Filipina woman producer, anything you want. So we would like to, we have a mic right here for the audience. Is there anybody who has something that they would like to ask Beverly?
Or Melissa.
Or Stephanie.
Oh, I'm sorry, Stephanie.
Everybody does that. They do that to her too. We're always like, anybody? You can ask your mom a question in front of this audience and you'll probably get an answer.
No, we'll be here all
Really
afternoon
good.
if she does.
Oh, here's a question. What's your name?
My name is John.
Hi, John.
What's your secret to longevity?
What's the signature?
Secret to longevity.
Secret to longevity.
Secret to longevity. Oh, what's my secret to longevity? I would say it's Shiseido SPF 35.
Girl, yes.
Sunscreen is my longevity. And actually, let's see, I would say movement. Whatever movement you can get into your body, whether it's yoga, boxing, running, I would say movement.
Yeah.
What about you, Stephanie?
Sunblock via hat and cream and running.
We should go running. We'll
Oh
go
my
run-
God.
Let's go running.
I love running. Anyone else? Anything else?
And your vegetable
Right over
soup.
here. Oh, there's Al Perez.
Din and ding is for longevity.
Hello.
Hi, Al.
Hi. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
you.
I'm so honored.
My question is, our theme for this year's Pistahan is Kapwa. It's rooted in resilience, rise to the challenge. So I was
Yeah.
wondering, what would your advice for of us to be able to cut through the noise, cut through the challenges, and to rise above? What can we do, in your opinion, to do that?
Are you want to answer?
You can go first.
I would say to really not listen to the resistance, or, there was a lot of people out there that didn't want to see me succeed, whether they were trying to sabotage my set or.
Really?
Yeah, it was really just rise above. And I always said to myself during that time is, take the high road and just don't even let them consume you, is what I'd say to my children. Don't let them consume you. You do your thing and you stay true to yourself and you're good.
I think that's awesome. And it's hard to do that. We say it, and it's hard to do that. And I would say, for me at this stage of life, and by the way, Al, who just asked that question, for those of you who don't know CitizenSister, the podcast, we have an interview with Al all about the history of Pistahan.
Everybody give Al a round of applause. He
Yes.
has planned this for so many years. You were such a role model for me, and I appreciate you and all your work. for
100%.
sure.
And in fact, it's because of him that I have somewhat of an answer to that question, rising to the challenge and rising above. And I had no idea when I created CitizenSister that even the title of my podcast would mean something different than when I first created it. I was kind of like, sisterhood, we're citizens of the world. And now that word citizen kind of has weight and a strange connotation because of how people have tried to minimalize us and separate us and bring fear into our beings as brown people. And so to that energy and in the theme of this, I would say one thing I learned even from Al coming to our festival was that our resistance and our rising above is our joy and our celebration, and not responding to the fear with cocooning and hiding and being less than ourselves, but in fact showing up anyway with hugs and smiles and food and celebration and culture and like what you just said, paying no attention to it because our resistance is joy and our protest is being there for one another. And so that's such a good question. Thank you. Anyone else? I know there's some questions out there for Beverly. Do you sing, Beverly?
I'm going to say no.
She's like, wait, you're not going to make me sing, are you?
Maybe in the dressing room I can
Karaoke. I love that bar, Martuni's. I used to sing there occasionally when I was here doing my show. Any other things that you might want to know? No?
Stephanie, I want to ask you a question. So as
Sure.
far as pertaining it to, the festival that you throw, what were some things that you had to overcome for doing that? Because you're only in your second year and you kind of know the rigmarole that Al has to go through doing. How many years has Pistahan been around, Al? 32 years. You guys, another round of applause for Al, please.
Yes.
Al brings us together, and this is such a great opportunity to have everyone come together, see everyone, meet new people. And so, Stephanie, you're starting that in your own local area. What helps you?
Oh, I mean, God, there was so much. There were many, 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 many challenges, lots of resistance, incidentally. And I'd say the first challenge, year one, last year, was that everybody said no. And I had wanted to do it for many years. We live on an island with less than 10% minorities, let alone Asian. So I knew that was going to be a challenge, but I took the no. And I got friends. I finally found my people. That was the biggest thing, And I didn't know they existed on the island until I found the Lees, and I found my other board members, and Yasmin, all of our friend groups. And I also think there were people who, I don't know if they tried to sabotage it, but they definitely felt like we had resistance. And it was hard for me to see. And I'd say my biggest challenge was that I didn't. And it took loving friends and people to say, hey, this person or that energy or that thing is not good for you, and you need to eliminate that and go towards the joy, and then also just relying on community and understanding that was possible to do, and to let go a little bit too. And let other people lead. That was another thing. That was hard because I'm like, oh, I don't know if they know how to do it. I don't know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I'm happy that you found your people and keep doing what you're doing. And
thank you.
I hope to visit you there.
Yes, you're going to visit. You're going to stay with us, and you're going to hang out, and we're going to eat. We have lots of chocolate shops on the island too. And I think that we're getting a cue that we have to wrap up. But I just want to say thank you to this entire audience. Thank you, of course, Beverly.
Thank you. It's been an honor.
It's such an honor, and we're just thrilled to have CitizenSister be a part of Pistahan. I hope to do this every year. And now that I'm kind of back stateside and not that far away up north, we can do that. And again, thank you for inspiring all of us as a woman, as a Filipina, as a minority, and as just a winner, and as a mom, all of it. You're just winning, and we're so proud to have you. So thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks, everybody. Let's eat.
Yeah. Balut.